This is on the topic of blank. I'm here with Cason Whitworth. How's it going?
Pretty good, man. How are you?
I'm good. So, it's Christmas time.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Yep. You excited about that?
Yeah. Friends and family, that's all it's about.
Yep. You have anything special planned?
Tomorrow I'll be with my family and then Dad, and then come home and be with family.
Is that the usual? Any like special traditions your family has?
Not much.
No.
No. Well, yeah, no.
Just the usual, open presents on Christmas Day.
And then this year, my stepdad's family is having Christmas over at my uncle's, so we're gonna go over there after Christmas. So
nice.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
I just got over cold, so I apologize if my voice is messed up, but
yeah, you were out for a couple days.
Yeah, I was sick as a dog, dude. That usually happens around Christmas time, though.
Yeah, a lot of people are getting sick lately, honestly.
Yep. So Christmas movies.
Elf.
Quintessential part of the holiday season.
Yes.
Elf is yours.
Elf.
Top movie.
Probably one of the most
Give me your top 5 that you have to watch every year.
Elf, of course.
All right. One of mine.
I can't think of any more, honestly. The Grinch, actually. Yes.
Yep.
The Grinch is always
another one of mine. Yeah.
What's the one with I can't think of it. Can't remember his name. Tim Allen or something like that.
The Santa Claus.
The Santa Claus.
Yeah,
all of those.
When I was out, I watched Santa Claus 1, 2, and 3.
I watched 1 and 2 the other day, and I was gonna watch 3 today, but we were busy, so I couldn't.
Yeah. Yeah, we always watch Home Alone.
Home Alone.
Yeah.
Home Alone's always gonna be. What's your favorite one?
Number 1.
Number 3 is my favorite.
Really?
Yeah. Home
Wow.
Alone 3 is my favorite.
You're in the minority on that one.
Yeah.
A lot of people hate
You don't
that
like
one.
that one? Dude, that one's my favorite one.
Because that's the one with the different kid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I like that one a little bit better than the other two.
Yeah. It's sort of the same way I am with Sandlot. Like, the original Sandlot is my favorite.
It's always going to be the best.
But number 2
was pretty good.
I have a special place in my heart for it. Because that's the one I grew up watching on
I think my
Disney
all-time
Channel.
favorite is going to be the first one.
Yeah.
The first one was... That one, I don't think you can beat. But maybe for you, number 2, but...
Well, no, number 1 is still
one's
the best for me.
Yeah.
But, It's a Wonderful Life. Have you ever seen that movie?
I don't think so.
It's one of the best Christmas movies of all
What's
time.
It about?
This guy, he's like a businessman, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he like wishes that he was never alive, and then like an angel like takes him and shows him what it would be like if he was never around, and like things are like really shitty. So he's like, whoa, like this is like good, and like he's about to kill himself when the angel like comes and gets him. But then he realizes that like life is wonderful. It's
Another good one. What's the movie with Ebenezer Scrooge?
Oh yeah.
I can't remember the name. It's
Crap. What?
A Christmas Carol? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
That one's gonna be a good one. That's a good one. I remember watching that a lot in school.
Yeah. Die Hard.
Die Hard. That's a really good. I was gonna say.
And
Die
for
Hard.
any of you out there that say Die Hard is not a Christmas movie, it absolutely is, and you cannot tell me otherwise.
Honestly, it should be a movie watched on Christmas.
Exactly. Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas. That's a good one.
I don't know.
Let me think. Can't think of any more, honestly.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure out what to watch at the party after this.
Yeah. Are we gonna do that?
Mm-hmm. Christmas cookies and movies, dude. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
Oh man. So, how's life?
Good. I'm not ready to go back to school now that the break began.
Yeah, we still got 2 weeks. We got a little bit of time.
But just like, I don't know, for breaks for me, it just goes by really quick.
Yeah.
When I don't want it to.
You just gotta pack everything you can in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like the November one went by really quick for me.
Yeah.
I was busy almost every day during November, and it just went by.
Well, I went to Arkansas over that break in November, and that was a lot of fun.
Oh, with the group.
With
the guys.
A bunch of guys, and so that it went by slower for me because I got to go on that trip, but it was a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, no, it seemed like
I'm planning.
I had a lot of pictures.
I'm planning another one this summer, probably inviting like more people to come. So
this summer I turn 18, so I may get to go to New Mexico.
Hey, there you go. I'm going to New Mexico this summer too.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going on a mission trip with the church. Yeah, but I'm just this year I'm trying to go like travel as much as possible, just to do it, you know. And yeah, so I'm going to New Mexico this summer, and I think I'm going to try to go to Maryland this summer too, because I have a cousin who lives up there, so I'll stay with her and her husband. We'd probably go to DC.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
See that, yeah. And then I think there's something about spring break, us going to Oklahoma.
Who? Everybody?
Like our group, yeah.
The whole group, really?
I think so.
Who's planning that?
Your girlfriend?
Really?
Yeah. That's what I heard.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
Broken Bow?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember y'all talking about that.
Have you ever been to Broken Bow?
No, but I heard it's really fun out there.
Oh, it's
really nice.
It's beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
My family actually, instead of New Mexico, not New Mexico, Mexico, my family actually planned on going there, like the whole family this summer. Broken Bow, like, we all just rent a huge cabin.
Yeah.
And stay out there.
Yeah.
I think it'd be fun, because last summer,
a lot of fun.
The whole family went to Florida. It was fun, so they're planning on doing it again, but somewhere different.
And those cabins are nice.
Yes.
Oh my.
Expensive.
Yeah, expensive, but they're nice. We used to go there.
It's worth it.
We used to go there every summer for a few summers with a whole bunch of family friends and stuff. And we'd just go down to the lake, kayak, fish, you know. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We'd all like pitch in and rent a cabin. Yeah.
You see, that's what they're wanting to plan on doing this summer, which should be really fun. My family's pretty fun when they're all together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, I heard something interesting the other day, and I know we both find like science stuff like really interesting because we've had conversations about that. But I've heard that apologists, like scientists who study like apes and primates and all that, or primatologists, not apologists, have like universally agreed that apes have entered into a stone age.
Really?
Yeah.
That's actually pretty interesting.
It's crazy because they're like, you see apes and they're like using like rocks and like stone tools to do different things, and like all over the globe without like teaching each other. Like they're all doing it.
So technically they're going through what we went through, which is actually pretty cool to think about.
Yeah, so you think like 100,000 years from now,
where
they're going to be at, you don't know.
You never know. That's actually really cool to think about too.
Because a few years ago, I saw an article about an ape like using a spear to hunt fish.
Really?
Like, and there was a picture and everything. I was like, holy cow! Like, that's crazy. So you think like 100,000 years from now,
what's next?
Yeah.
What do you think about the future?
Oh, I don't know, man. It'll work itself out.
There's a lot of things that could happen.
Yeah. So when stuff like that happens, like scientists say, oh, apes are going into a stone age, then you have like creationalists, you know, which like that's a whole can of worms. But like, what do you think? Do you believe in like evolution, or do you believe that like God created everything and that's just how it is, or what?
I believe in God created everything as it is.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. I don't think it's as black as white and black and white as it is. But because I don't know.
It's hard. It could be anything, but
because you look at like that stuff, right? And you're like, well, evolution has to be like a thing.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of in the middle. I don't know.
It's hard to think about because we don't really know, and you got so many different people saying so many different things.
I think maybe this is how I sort of been thinking about it, and ultimately we don't know, and I'm probably never gonna know. And I'm not a scientist or anything, but I think he created a species, right? That the Bible that was Adam and Eve or whatever, and different species splintered off of that or whatever, became apes, became humans, you know, and down the line we split off from way down. It's like a tree, you know what I mean? Different branches, and we became humans or whatever. And then, but who's to say a million years from now or whenever, a different section of ape is going to split off of that branch and become super smart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You never know.
And have you heard about this is really old news, but the Coco, the gorilla, who knows sign language.
Yeah.
And that stuff is wild.
Yeah.
Because something happened and she was depressed or something, and then Robin Williams came in, and it was back when he was still alive, and he made her laugh, and they became friends, legit friends, and then you hear about Bert Kaiser, who's a comedian. He went in with a gorilla who was depressed about something, and he did an imitation of a gorilla, and the gorilla freaking laughed. And those are intelligent beings.
Do you know what I watched lately? The Lion Whisperer.
Really?
He is best friends with these lions, and he does so much for them. Hyenas too. He has friends with hyenas, lions. It's pretty cool too. Just like what you were saying with the gorilla, they become friends.
Yeah.
They have a connection, and that's cool to think about because people think they're all dangerous and killers, but
they are dangerous.
Yeah, well, they are, but if you look deep down, he's friends with it.
Yeah, but the difference between forming a bond with a lion or a hyena or something, which obviously happens, is you can communicate with a gorilla, legit they sign language, whatever, and that's just insane to me.
An animal that knows what we know.
Yeah, and it makes you think, it's well, what the heck, if they can communicate,
what happens if you
why are they locked up in zoos or whatever? You know what I mean?
They could be walking around.
And obviously, I'm not saying let them out into society or whatever, because they're still dangerous animals, but that's just wild.
Pretty cool to think about.
Yeah. I don't know. Stuff's crazy.
Couldn't imagine that though. Just them walking around. That'd be pretty cool, but it's hard to see.
100,000 years from now, because you think about it, the Earth is 4 billion years old, right?
Yeah.
Humans have only been around for a couple million years. Humans is we know us. So a couple million years from now, apes could be
us.
They could be inventing iPhones and whatever.
You never know.
Yep. But I don't know what. So what do you think about the future? What do you think it's gonna be like? You think it's gonna be a thriving utopia, or do you think it's gonna get messed up?
Honestly, I have no idea.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that could happen from just today, and you'll never know.
Yeah.
And then later on, it could be either good or bad.
Like me and Noe talked about on the first podcast, is so much stuff could happen, AI,
Yes.
super advanced, or freaking nuclear bombs or whatever. Because I read or I saw an article today that was saying Trump's probably gonna attack North Korea.
Yeah, I heard about that. I was reading a documentary about it.
And I was like, that's crazy. The fact that we could like be going to war.
World War III.
In like months from now. And it's not like, because the war in Iraq and Afghanistan is not a conventional war. You know what I mean? Like it's us fighting a group of people, not like a country.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But like with North Korea, like that is a clear enemy. So like we're going back to like Korea, because that was the last time we fought like an actual like country on a big scale.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. What do you think of Trump?
I don't like him.
You don't?
No.
Did you like
him
from the start?
A wall. No, he's trying to build a wall.
Well, what's wrong with border security?
Well, I mean, yeah, we can have border security, but you don't have to build a wall to keep them out. I mean, all you gotta do is keep updates on the border, have extra people on the border. It's just, I don't think
that's
wall
working
is necessary.
so well right now.
Well, yeah, but I don't know about a wall.
China did it.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, no one's calling them racist.
No.
And I know it's different circumstances or whatever. I don't think building a wall is
bad idea.
The worst idea Trump's had. But I agree with you. Like, I'm not a huge fan of him right now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I also think he gets a bad rap just for
his bad business.
Well, not necessarily.
Well, he didn't have bad business, but
he's a very successful businessman.
Very successful, but just the bad things he's done with his business.
Yeah, and he's just childish. You know, he lets things get to him that shouldn't get to him. He doesn't act in a presidential manner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but you know, and in the primaries, if we could vote, I wouldn't have voted for him. I would have voted for Rand Paul or even Ted Cruz, or But
would you have voted for Clinton?
Absolutely not.
No.
I'd rather, like I said on the last podcast, I'd rather have Trump in office than Hillary.
Yes.
But if you think about it,
to me, I didn't want to vote for either of them when it came down to it.
Out of all the people in the country, it comes down to those two to pick for our leader. Like, something's messed up.
I'm surprised people even wanted
Something's
to vote.
Messed up.
Yeah. Because who would want to vote for a woman who's,
Yeah, who would want to vote for a woman? God.
No, not that. Just a woman who's messed with...
worst. No.
who's messed with emails. Actually, I watched a video where Zach Galifianakis was sitting down with her. He was like, how's the best way to contact her? Email?
Email? Yeah, I've seen that too. God.
Someone who's,
he's hilarious.
Emails, or a businessman who has, taken a lot of people out of jobs for no reason. Did you hear about that? I was reading a documentary in one of my classes. I think it was actually engineering. We talk about stuff like this a lot. And it was saying that he took a lot of businesses out of play for no reason.
Yeah.
When really it shouldn't have been like that.
Oh no, he's done a lot of good for our economy since he's been president, but
he's got 4 more years. 4 years.
3 years now.
Well, 3 years, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think he's gonna get reelected?
We'll see how these next 3 years go. Do
you think Hillary's gonna run again? Because she's ran the last 2 or 3 presidential elections. I think 2.
Honestly, most likely.
Yeah.
If he does bad, and
even if he does good, just how the public sees him.
I think if he does good, people are gonna want to really elect him. But if he does bad, Hillary may come around and try to take.
Well, what's interesting with the whole North Korea thing is, for a president trying to get reelected, the best thing he can do to do that is to enter a war.
Mm-hmm.
Because the public doesn't want to change leaders in the middle of a war, right? So they'll re-elect it. It happened during World War I and II. And, yeah, so that's another scary thought, is that I'm not saying Trump's going to go to war just to get re-elected, but
could be a possibility.
Yeah, they could factor into that, you know what I mean? Did you see that thing on, there's an article that, you know how Disney has the animatronic ride with all the presidents?
Everything now?
Well, no, at Disney World they have a ride where you go through like a tunnel, right? And it's like a ride, and you see all of the presidents and their like animatronics, and they have Trump's, right? But like the facial features on Trump, it looks like Hillary Clinton.
Really?
Like super. Like I'll pull it up right now, and so people think that they made a Hillary animatronic, thinking that she would win, and when Trump won, they just put put Trump's face over the animatronic. Here, I'll show you.
In my history class, we have a poster of all the presidents on it, and someone put a sticky note, and it says Trump and a little face of him. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, look at that. So
that looks just like Hillary.
And then you like look at that.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, like it's what I just talked about. If you Google Hillary animatronic, it'll pull up, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, so that's hilarious. Yeah.
She was actually really upset too when she didn't become president. I feel like she knew,
but
she was going to, but yeah, she didn't.
I think she's involved with a lot of bad stuff.
She is.
Like, I'm talking like, do you think she's ever like had people killed? Like political, like adversaries or enemies? Do you think she's ever had people killed?
Kill?
Yeah.
It's hard to think, but you never know. Dude.
Well, like
she's a big business. She has like, her husband was a president at one time.
Yeah.
And you never know what she would have done,
but
to keep him
in
the office.
There was a guy who worked on the Hillary campaign, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he, like after the election, this was like half a year ago or something. He got out of the campaign, and he was like, hey, I have stuff that would incriminate Hillary because of the stuff I saw. He ended up dead like a week later because of a quote unquote suicide. So, and there's been a few cases like that, so you're like, ugh.
That opens your eyes. Because like, really, that's
like, ooh, like
a week
Hillary,
later.
What are you doing? Yeah.
People.
And then like the whole email situation, which is already against the law anyway.
Yeah. She continued to do it.
Yeah, it's like, oof.
Now you have me thinking that she's a killer.
Yeah, well, make up your own mind. Like, do the research, but I wouldn't trust her. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't trust her.
Well, I wouldn't
with my
trust
email.
I wouldn't trust half the politicians in Washington. You know what I mean? They're just slimy.
A lot of people do a lot of things to keep going.
Yeah. Do you ever watch House of Cards on Netflix?
I heard it's a good show though.
Yeah, it's really good. But yeah, people say it's like a pretty accurate representation of like the back dealings of Washington and like all the politics of it and stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's like you watch it and it makes you want to become like a politician. You're like, oh, I could do that. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy. There's a lot of. I watch too much TV, dude. I watch so much Netflix. It's probably bad for me.
Lately, I've been watching a lot of Netflix. I watched The Imitation Game the other day. We watched
Is
it
that
last
good?
year in engineering, but I had to watch it again. It's really good. It's like
Yeah, I've seen that on there.
World War II, but like
yeah, it's about Nazi code breakers, right?
Mm-hmm. It was during World War II, and Alan Turing created the first ever computer.
Yeah.
It was actually really cool. So well, I don't think it was like accurate, but I mean, it just shows you what he did and how he did it, and that's really cool. That's probably one of my favorite movies now after watching it again.
Wow, I'll have to check it out. But yeah,
it's a really good movie.
I watch a lot of movies on Netflix just because, you know, I want to potentially go into the film industry one day and be a filmmaker.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll just watch all the movies I can, you know, just to, even movies I don't particularly think I like, I'll watch them just to
get a feel for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So, engineering, is that what you're wanting to go into?
Well, a few years back, yeah, but honestly, I don't know what I want to do anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to go to college, and after that, just see what happens. I mean, you never know. Or in college, just find a career.
Yeah. I mean, it's never too late to change careers. That's advice I've gotten from like older guys that like, listen, I've done so many things that don't even involve what my degree from college. So like a friend of ours, he went to school for like bioengineering, right? I think that's what it was. And now he owns a business selling trailers, right? Or renting out trailers. And he's very successful. But like he was a crane operator. He taught not a crane operator, but he taught people how to operate cranes. He was a radiation detector on oil rigs, like so many things. And like, but I'm in the same boat you are right now. Is like, cause
you're opening your eyes to different
things.
things.
My focus for school was agricultural mechanics, which is like welding and stuff like that, and like auto shop stuff like that. But now it's like I'm kind of split, cause like
filmmaking,
with filmmaking or directing or cinematography, like all that sort of stuff. And like, cause I know welding, like, cause I'm good at welding, and I could go into that and be probably really successful, and like make good money and stuff. And like filmmaking, I'm sort of hesitant on because it's not like a stable thing. Because I could go to college for filmmaking and then come out and just be a nobody and be unsuccessful. You know what I mean? So that's sort of what I'm dealing with.
Leaning on,
you know.
Right now.
But I just have a passion for that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah. Like my sister, she went to school for nursing, and now she wants to go into CSI and stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah. She's that's what she's studying for right now in school, and I think that's actually pretty cool that, you know, her whole life she actually wanted to do nursing, and then right before college she changed her mind. That's what she's been working at.
I also think it's kind of stupid to like make high school kids, especially, like pick a career path in high school and then just stick to that.
Yeah.
And because I don't think that's how it should be. Like, you shouldn't just pick one thing and then that's how it is. Because
if you don't actually end up liking it,
you should get a feel for all different kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah. But CSI stuff, that stuff's cool, because I'm in forensic science right now, and learning about that stuff is really interesting. Like we do case studies and stuff, and
oh yeah, I heard about that.
You know, it's a really good show on Netflix. Speaking of Netflix, is Mindhunter.
I've heard of that too.
You heard of that?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
You know what it's about? It's about the FBI criminal profiling database, like their criminal profiling system. It's the two guys that started that, back in the 60s or 70s.
Uh-huh.
And it's crazy. And it's like based on like true story, actual events. These two guys go around the country interviewing serial killers that have been arrested, just trying to get like a feel for how they think. You know what I mean? It's super interesting.
Do you know what I started watching? And that I finished El Chapo.
El Chapo?
I always thought his story was interesting. And they came out with a new season not too long ago. I haven't watched it yet, but that show is always interesting to me. Like his life and how he was before.
I haven't watched it, yeah.
Like he was just a kid working for money, and then one day he went into, well, in the show, I don't know if it's true or not, he went and he saw a nice car. He was like, "I'll clean it for you." And this is like a huge drug lord. He's like, "Okay, sure." And he takes the car out after cleaning it and goes for a ride. And he comes back and he was like, "I want to work for you." And he's like, "You'll have to prove yourself." So two of his men take him out and he has to go kill a man to show if he's worthy or not. And he did it.
Oof.
Like, that's pretty cool.
It's rough stuff, dude.
So he went from nothing to being one of the most wanted drug lords in the world.
I watched a movie. It was it's one of the newer movie about, it had Tom Cruise in it. I forget what it's called, like American Made or something like that. And he started off as an airline pilot, right? And then he was smuggling.
I know what you're talking about.
He was smuggling
for what's his
cigars
name?
from Cuba, right? And he was selling them, like smuggling them in, selling them in the States. And then the CIA caught wind of it, and they offered him a job.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was flying down to South America delivering weapons to freedom fighters down in South America, right? And then the cartel caught wind. They're like, "Listen, give us the guns, we'll give you drugs, and then we'll pay you. We'll give you drugs to smuggle into the U.S. and then we'll pay you." And like, it was crazy.
And then he like had to do something for Pablo Escobar.
Yeah,
Yeah. I was looking him up.
Yeah, he dealt with Pablo Escobar and all that.
He's like, Pablo Escobar worked with El Chapo.
Yeah, it was Pablo Escobar, El Chapo, and another guy. And
it's actually interesting. Drug lords in like Mexico, they own different areas.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest drug lords, after he passed away, like the drug lords of Mexico sat down at a table and were given the areas of his places. And El Chapo, that's how he became a drug lord. He was like, "You get this area." He's like, "Welcome to the drug lord business." He's like, "You are now a drug lord." And that's how he became. And he kept taking other people's areas and stuff like that, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that was what it was.
That's why they're like, it's like tiny countries almost.
Yeah.
Like
that you have control over.
You talk about organized crime, like that is organized. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you're not even, they're drug lords. They're not even supposed to have any control over those areas, but yet they have the most control.
Mexico
is corrupt.
Well, it's
no, the
it's
cops
a crazy
out there
country.
are corrupt.
Well, it depends on where you are, but yeah. Nothing against Mexico or Mexicans or anything like that, but like you look at Juarez, Mexico.
Yeah.
That's a bad city. You're talking about like people hanging from bridges and stuff. You ever seen the movie Sicario? Well, it's about a CIA operation to take down like drug lords and stuff. And they go into Juarez and like just wreck shop, dude.
Wow.
It's a great movie. You know what? There's a sequel coming out to it right now.
Really?
And they employ like a hitman that works for the Colombian cartel. But oof, it's a bad movie.
Yeah.
You wanna watch it?
Yeah, probably.
Especially
when there's a sequel coming out.
You always watch that sort of stuff. You're like, I bet you I could be like
Them.
like a rad, freaking like bad MF if I was a drug lord, and like I bet you I could do that and control people, and you're like, yeah, I want to start doing that. And
after watching El Chapo, I was like, I'm becoming a drug lord.
And then you think, you're like, well, I could do that, or
I could stay in a jail.
I could, stay out of prison, stay alive, have a nice, decent life. But
or I could pay a cop $2 million to let me go when I get caught.
Yeah, that's crazy that they have that kind of money. They can just listen. Here's $2 million.
$2 million. You let me go, you can have it.
If you were a cop, some guy offered you $2 million to do that.
Oh, I'd take it. I'd be gone the next day.
Like,
wouldn't even come into work.
Put in my resignation.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't even put in my resignation. I'd just leave.
There's a documentary I watched over this precinct 57 or 75 or something like that, where it was a New York like precinct, like police precinct, and like talking like 3/4 of the cops in that precinct were corrupt and were dealing with drugs and stuff like that, and it's wild like that happened in an American like New York, that like 3/4 of the cops were just corrupt and dealing with drugs and murder and stuff like that. And then they all got busted at once.
You think you have it all, like a good amount of money from drugs and stuff like that, have a decent job to play it off, but then you just get caught. That just sucks, but that's what you deserve.
Yeah. It's like, that stuff's so interesting to me though.
It is. It's really cool.
Like,
I mean, it's
cops and crimes and
like
movies about lawyers are probably my favorite movies.
Yeah.
Because they're all. Have you ever seen A Time to Kill?
Oh, dude, you're taking me out so many. No.
Like it has Matthew McConaughey, has Samuel L. Jackson, has Sandra Bullock, like a big cast, and it's about Samuel L. Jackson's daughter in the movie gets raped and almost like murdered by these two like redneck like white piece of trash in like Mississippi, and it's set during like the 60s or 70s, yeah. And Samuel L. Jackson's character goes and kills both of them, and then he gets like caught, right, and tried, and it's about the trial, and it like it involves the KKK, like there's like it's really like crazy because on one side of the street there's like a protest to like let them go, and it's like black and white people saying like, oh, like let them go, like free Charlie, like that's what his name was. And then on the other side of the street there's a whole bunch of like KKK people dressed in robes and like just like a whole bunch of white guys, and it's a crazy movie. But like movies like that make me want to like become a lawyer, you know what I mean?
Did you know the KKK wasn't always after African Americans?
No, that's how they got started.
Well, no, actually, it was. When did they begin?
No, they began right after the Civil War, right?
I think it was When did they begin? Let me look at that actually, because I remember
they started right after the Civil War, and they would go after freed slaves because it was Civil War. They'd go after like African Americans and black people and like lynch them and like just terrorize them.
It was. We were talking about this in history not too long ago. They weren't always after just them. They were after like, what's it called? They were after everybody that just was corrupting everything. Around the time that was when African Americans were, moving around.
Yeah.
And that's why they didn't like him, is because they were taking over, businesses and stuff like that. Well, not businesses, but like taking jobs.
Well, they didn't like him because they were black. Because they started out as a racist organization, and that's what they've stayed. But they would like attack free black people, and then like northern like carpetbaggers, like people that came in from the north, they would like terrorize them too because they were ex-Confederate soldiers, and yeah. But it's wild.
They hated someone in the 1920s. It was the 1920s. Is what I was talking about.
Oh yeah, so that's later on.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. They weren't always just after them.
No, like as the what's the word I'm looking for? As the like Klan progressed, they started hating more people.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't just African Americans. It was, you know, Italians or Mexicans or like anyone that wasn't white. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They were after immigrants, Catholics, Jews, blacks, and organized labor.
Is anyone that wasn't a white Christian
welcomed? Anybody that wasn't welcomed in the U.S. at the time was who they wanted gone.
Anything?
Yeah, it wasn't always just
anyone that wasn't
African Americans. It was like
white Christians. Yep.
Yeah, they were always after everybody, which is like.
It's crazy being like living in a southern state. Well, no, like even now living in a southern state, that stuff is still around. Like, I've had family that's either like been associated or like was once in the Klan.
Really?
Yep. I have a great uncle that I never knew. So my dad's great uncle. I didn't know him, but he was. That is a rough son of a gun right there, because he was in the Klan, right? So he's already like not a great guy, but he like there's a story, I don't know if it's true or not, but this is like a family legend, I guess. He got shot in a bar fight, right, like in his side. He didn't deal with it. He like doctored it himself. He didn't go to the hospital or whatever. Then 15 years later, he was sitting at home itching his leg because he had a lump in his leg. He was itching it, and he broke the skin, and the bullet came out. So it had traveled down from his side down to his leg, and he itched it out. But yeah, so there's stories about him being like stabbed multiple times and stuff. So
I would think
that was just a bad dude. And then even more recently, just it's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Because that sort of thinking is so like one-sided. Just like you got the blinders on. Like I don't know how people think like that. You know what I mean?
Discriminate other people. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, just because of their skin color, like.
Or the immigrations, or the Catholics, the Jews. That's their own thing. You shouldn't discriminate just because they believe in their own thing.
You do, man.
Yeah. Like how last week you and Connor were talking about the drugs.
We were talking about drugs or your sexuality or whatever. Just, you know.
Be you. Honestly, no one.
As long as you're not hurting anyone, who cares?
Let it be.
Yeah.
But people just hate to hate for no reason.
Yeah, that's true. Like anyone who's not exactly like them. Which is stupid, because if everyone was the same, like.
Yeah, you should always be different. You should always be what you want to be.
Like, if nothing was ever the same,
like The Giver.
That'd be just boring.
Yeah, like,
you know what I mean?
You know that movie,
like,
The Giver?
No, yeah. There's no other culture. There's like no innovation. It's just meh.
It's not even living.
No. Like you gotta spice things up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Be friends with everyone. Love everyone. You know, that's one thing the hippies got right.
Right.
I think there's a lot of stuff the hippies were kind of like just ahead of. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Like the show My Strange Addiction. The guy that was in love with the doll.
Hey man.
If you love a doll, love on a doll.
I mean, you have the right to love on a doll. I have the right to think it's weird as shit.
Weird, yeah. I mean, if I see you walking around with a doll kissing it, I'm gonna think it's weird, but
I mean,
you do you.
Yeah, that's you. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. It's just, there's some wild stuff out there.
Pretty wild people.
Yeah. So, we gotta get ready for the Christmas party.
Yeah. What time is everybody coming around? Oh yeah, 3.
Probably coming soon after this, yeah. So.
It's in 6 minutes.
I appreciate you being on the show, dude.
Thank you for having me.
I had fun.
Yeah.
We'll have to do it again sometime.
We probably will.
Yeah.
Kai wants to be on next week. I forgot to say
Kai.
that. Yeah, Kai.
That'll be interesting.
That'll be actually really funny too.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to get him on the show pretty soon because I got Devin on next week, and I think I got Sam and Emily on the week after that. Sam's girl.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, they're coming together? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so that'd be cool.
I think that'll be pretty cool. So, yeah, I might have to get, and I have another guy after that, so I'll have to get Kai on eventually. But
Kai, well, have to be on sooner or later.
Yeah.
That'd be hilarious.
Kai's definitely.
You know what you should do though? We should have like one night, just all the guys just come and just talk.
Ooh, that
would be hard, but it'd be actually really
might get messy. I don't know. Alright, this has been On the Topic of Blank. Hope y'all enjoy. Have a Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. Love others, and I'll see you next week.